Okay, continuing with the review for Algebra 2, sections 6.1 to 6.3 and 6.5. Problems 6 through 9 is what we're doing here. Okay, all we're supposed to do here is factor, and you always look for a GCF first. In this example here, there's an X, number 6, in both, and there is also a 2. So we're going to take a 2x out, and if you pretend you're distributing, you'll need a 9x squared minus 25 right there. Well, that takes us to the point where we have what's called a difference of squares. There's a minus sign in the middle. That's what we call difference. And these are both perfect squares on either side. And all you do is break it apart with a plus and minus sign when you do this. So put your plus sign, put your minus sign, and then take the square roots of those terms. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared, and 5 times 5. And this one's done. Okay, the greatest common factor number 7 is 2, so you can pull that out. When you divide these by 2, you get the following numbers. And at this point, you're going to try to break apart that trinomial. We're not sure it's going to work yet, but let's see if it does here. Let's put the star method in action here. And you put a leading coefficient, which is 3 in this problem, on the wings. Multiply those together, negative 36 here. And you're trying to get two numbers that multiply to get negative 36 and add to give positive 16. Well, the factors of 36 are 1 and 36. I doubt you're going to get 16 using those numbers, but the next one, 2 and 18, is very promising. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it in there, 2 and 18. And if you make the 2 a negative 2, those now add up to the 16 like they should, and they multiply to get the negative 36 like they should. Simplify this, it'll be 1 over 6, and now you can fill in the answers. The 3 over negative 2 on this left-hand side. When you turn it sideways for the answer is 3x minus 2, and the other one, 1 over 6, you just turn it sideways as 1x plus 6. So it's a good idea to check these. Those two give 3x squared. Yep, that's good. The last two give negative 12. That's also good. And you get an 18x minus a 2x, which gives 16x in the middle. So everything's good. All right, next one here is got a common factor. I think the biggest number that goes into all of these is actually 2, and there's also an x. So we're going to pull a 2x out. Hang on. 2x comes out. That leaves us with 16x squared. You can see if I multiply those, I'd get the first term up there. And then 2x times negative 24x in the middle. And finally, on the end, you'd have plus 9. Now, this is a different type of one that involves perfect squares. I've got perfect squares on the ends, and that's a dead giveaway that I'm probably dealing with a perfect square trinomial. So I'm going to just try it. I'm going to say, well, the square root of the first one is 4x. 4x times 4x. And the square root of the back one is 3. 3 times 3. That'd be 9. And then you always steal the sign from the middle and put it on both of them. So let's make sure the middle term works out. What we have here is a minus 12x and another minus 12x. And that does combine to give the requisite negative 24x in the middle. Okay, the next problem leads with a negative number, which means if you have a GCF, well, even if you don't, you want to pull out a negative, even if you're pulling out only a negative 1. These all divide by 6. Technically, that's the greatest common factor, but we're going to pull out a negative 6. And that'll change the sign of this lead one here to 12. And you could take negative 6 times negative 2 to get the 12 that's on the top line there. Okay, let's see if this breaks apart. I'm going to set up two factors here and see if the star is going to help me with this. So I'll set up a star here, and the leading coefficient in this case is 12. So we'll put that on the crossbars. And then we get in the middle here, negative 24 when we multiply those guys. Negative 24. I didn't draw that very well. Okay, negative 24. So put that on the top here, negative 24, and we want numbers add to give negative 5. I think it's going to be 3 minus 8. Those numbers multiply to give negative 24, and they add to give negative 5. Now the first one reduces to 4 over 1, and the other one, by dividing by 4, goes 3 over negative 2. And turning those sideways, we get 4x plus 1, and we get 3x minus 2. Okay, so that does it for problems 6, 7, 8, and 9 on the review.